The two M's of the universe that keep you suffering. Now, if you ever feel like you're stuck in a loop that you can't seem to get out of no matter what you do, it's for the mere fact that the two M's are keeping you in a loop. And it's not until you study the foundations of the universe that you will not have the capabilities to rearrange the foundations of your reality, which ironically is me helping you dive deep into the foundations of you and your position in reference to the universe. Now, as you can see, our lovely stick figure, he has graduated. Why? Because you can think of this as a beginner's guide to how the universe works. Because before you have the desire to attempt to reshift your reality or do all of this fancy shit, which is nothing more than shiny object syndromes, getting you to do these affirmations in the mirror like a psychopath, or getting you to pretend to be grateful about some shit that you put in a journal that you've been doing but it's not working. Before we get to any of that, let's actually start with the base mechanics of how the universe works. And the two M's is what I conceptualize to be as critical to your ability to actually reshift your reality. Now, as I always say, spirituality without the ability to control your reality is vanity. And it's not until we start with the foundations of the two M's, things will change. Now, one thing that I should mention is that the two M's are extremely dangerous, because if you've ever felt like you're in a loop that you can't seem to get out of, whether it's the same conditions in reality, the same people, the same results each and every single time, it's because you're trapped within this cycle of the two M's. And the thing about the two M's is that they can keep you in a cycle, or they can keep you in a cycle of heaven or hell. And that's extremely dependent upon your ability to become aware of these two M's and re-alter them. Now, we're going to be talking about a lot of things. Now, one thing in particular that AJ won't leave me alone about is making a video on reprogramming the subconscious mind. So if that's something you want to see, which I'm going to touch on elements of it here slightly, let me know. We'll do like a reprogramming your subconscious 2025 or some shit, so these niggas can actually go into the year in the way that they want.
That comment's gonna get like 10K likes.
You think so?
Yeah.
Sometimes life comes around, and then knocks you down. Just get back up, and then knocks you down. Carrie Hilson was on a run, She had Knock You Down, she had Chris.
I don't know if I know the song.
With Chris Brown, Superhuman. Superhuman.
Yeah, I know that song.
You know it.
So she got 2 songs.
Let's not talk about that. Now, guys, as I was saying, the thing about the two M's, and I'll get into the two M's very shortly, you're going to get some, just relax. But the thing about the two M's, as I mentioned, is that they essentially result in a cycle. Now, depending upon where you are, it can either result in a cycle of what you experience as heaven and what you experience as hell. Now, the thing about hell is that hell can disappear. The entirety of the hell that you're going through can disappear the moment that you enter heaven. Now, this is what esoterically is stated in Luke 17:21. As Jesus says, the kingdom of heaven is within you. It's also said in the Gospel of Thomas. Now, I can actually show you guys how to go to heaven without dying. If that's a video you want to see, then let me know. But the thing about it is this. This particular cycle, anytime that you feel like you're in a cycle, the first thing that you need to be aware of is the fact that you are actually in a cycle. If the conditions of your reality, if the conditions of your reality feel like they're equating in this continuous loop again and again and again, then the first step is that level of awareness, because awareness is the first step to transmutation, which is what we're going to do here. Like I said, you're going to get some. I'll give you the two M's very, very shortly. Just relax. Just relax. But you have to be aware that the two M's have the ability to put us in cycles of heaven or hell. Now, most of us grow up in cycles of hells again and again and again, and it's because we don't have an understanding of the base mechanics of the universe. This is foundational. So before you get to any of this other shit that niggas be trying to put you on, such as all these different techniques and the law of this and the law of that, and this is the right way and this is the wrong way and this is the only law that works, on and so forth, pull all of that to the side. Do you actually understand the foundations? The chances are you don't. And the foundations, they're going to be like, oh shit, yeah, that makes sense. And it's something you've been aware of constantly, but I need to point it out to you so you understand the severity of it. Hence why I'm about to talk for 40 minutes off the top of my head to give you the two M's. Now, the first M The very first M. And you've never heard this anywhere. So don't even bother, trying to go look for this shit anywhere, nigga, because this is literally my conceptualizations through studying this stuff for 8 years and being hired by 6 to 8 figure entrepreneurs to teach them this type of stuff. So believe me when I say you're not going to get this anywhere. So just stick around. Now, or leave if you want to. Whatever. But anyways, Magnify. This is the first M of the universe. Now, the thing that you have to understand about the universe is that quite simply, the universe, it will magnify however you feel. This is literally that simple. Now, what do I mean by this? Now, the first thing that you have to understand is actually a reconstruction on what you've been taught is the higher in the hierarchy of your frequency. So of course, a lot of spiritual people, especially in this particular spiritual community, they place a lot of emphasis on your thoughts. Unfortunately, your thoughts are actually secondary when it comes to the process of reality creation. Now, the basis of your frequency, as I always say, the largest shareholder of your frequency, the majority of your frequency is emotion. Stop. Hammer time. No, seriously, but stop. And actually let that digest. Because you have to understand that for the mere fact that you've been taught to conceptualize your thoughts as the most important thing, I can more often than not guess you probably overthink any time that your thoughts head down a path that you don't particularly enjoy, correct? Yes, of course. You're nodding with me. Lovely. Now, the thing that you have to do is to actually reposition the hierarchy of importance when it comes to the aspect of reality creation, because your emotion is the majority of your frequency. Now, emotion is energy that is in perpetual motion. That emotion releases a energetic signature, which we call a vibration. That vibration compounds and builds up into a frequency. That frequency corresponds and is matched with the equivalent resonating reality. Your emotions is more important than you could ever imagine. Like, you need to fucking understand what I'm saying. Your emotions are more important than you could ever imagine. And I want you to think about it like this. So, based on the first M of the universe, Magnify. The universe will magnify however you feel. I want you to think about it like this. Have you ever had one of those days where it just starts off bare calm, and then one thing goes wrong, and after that one thing, everything after just keeps going wrong and wrong and wrong and wrong and wrong. You're like, now I've had a bad day. How the fuck did that happen? You weren't aware of what was going on, nigga. And that's the first M of the universe. The first M of the universe, that the universe will magnify however you feel. And how will it magnify however you feel? Relax, you're gonna get some. The universe will magnify however you feel by using events, circumstances, conditions, and even people. So, I'll give you an example. Let's say, in fact, let me wipe down this. Somebody was like to me, Nero was a past clean. In a past life, Nero was a cleaner. I actually challenged the notion of past lives. If time's an illusion, meaning that time doesn't exist outside our third dimensional physical plane, then technically everything is cyclical in a sense. So there is no past life. Technically, there's parallel lives. Technically, if you die, you could be born into any particular lifetime, which is quite scary. Now, as I was saying, a simplification of this is this. If you feel bad, the universe will make you feel worse. If you feel stressed, the universe will make you feel more stressed. If you feel annoyed, the universe will make you feel more annoyed. But here's the thing. If you feel unseen, the universe will make you feel invisible. The universe simply magnifies however you feel. Now, why does the universe do that, Nero? It does that because it is a macrocosm of your microcosm. The universe is you. The universe literally is you. Hence why you need to stop thinking like a human and begin to think like a god. And what I mean by that isn't the personification. I'm not saying this from a point of egotistical conceptualizations and your ability to create a universe in a sense and, you know, create all these people. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that from a point of what God truly represents in the esoteric nature, which is an impersonal consciousness, the highest, the most highest frequency beyond our third dimensional realm illusions such as polarity and so on and so forth. But you need to elevate your thinking, because here's the thing, more often than not, as human beings, one thing that we extremely, oh my God, there's a mark here. Can't lie, if I was a cleaner in the past life, I would have just got fired. But anyways, one thing that we need to understand as humans is that we have this inability to discipline ourselves emotionally. I'll give you an example. So let's say you start your day, and similar to the example I gave earlier, you start your day, everything's going absolutely amazing. Seems pretty cool. One thing goes wrong. Let's say you're late or somebody pulls out on you when you're driving or something. Something just sets you off. Now, what happens from that point is that the universe has picked up a new signal. It says new signal. And the longer you're in that particular state, the more that energetic momentum builds up. And when it gets to a point to the universe where it is visible that there's a new signal, oh, the first M of the universe begins, and it seeks to magnify that. Now, extrapolate this to your life. If you feel stressed, the universe will use events, circumstances, conditions, and people to make you feel more stressed. All of a sudden, people are just gonna start stressing you. Out of nowhere, they're just gonna start stressing you. Something, a particular event that's so random happens to quite literally magnify and intensify your stress. If you feel annoyed, the universe will use people to make you feel more annoyed. It will use conditions, circumstances, and events to make you feel even more annoyed. If you're somebody who feels unseen, the universe will use people to make you feel unseen. Them niggas will walk past you like this and not even realize. And of course, extrapolate this to however it is that you're feeling. Now, there's a range of emotions. We can extrapolate this to guilt. If you feel guilt, the universe will give you more things to be guilty about by using people, conditions, events, and circumstances. Why? Because all of these people are within the system of reality. If you feel shame, the universe will use people, conditions, circumstances, and events to make you feel more shamed. This is what the universe does. It magnifies however you feel, when the truth of the matter is, it feels like a magnification. That's what it feels like. But in actuality, it is a reflection. How different would your reality be if you saw yourself as a walking universe? How differently would you conduct yourself? What would you allow within? Because coming to this understanding about magnification and the first M of the universe, don't worry, you'll get the other one in a minute. Relax, you're gonna get some. And don't worry, I'm gonna also show you how to break out that cycle. I'm gonna show you how to break out that cycle, but this is the beginning of the cycle. When the universe first picks up a new signal, energetic momentum builds up and it becomes something that's visible to the universe. The universe says, shit, we got something to magnify. And it magnifies that again and again and again. Now, in these particular examples, I've specifically correlated this with survival frequencies because these are the environments that we grew up in, and this is how most people on the planet live. But of course, you can extrapolate this to other things in life. So let's say if you feel good, the universe will make you feel better. If you feel peace, the universe will use people, conditions, circumstances, and events to make you feel even more peaceful. Now, make sure you're taking notes because you shouldn't be watching me to pass the time, nigga. I don't know what you think this is. You can go watch a 20v1 or a smash or pass or whatever niggas are doing these days. That's absolutely ridiculous. But also make sure you leave them notes in the comments. Now, as I was saying, you can extrapolate this to peace. You can extrapolate this to feeling good. You can extrapolate this to joy, appreciation, and love. The more love that you feel inherently within you, the universe will use people to magnify that love, conditions to magnify that love, circumstances to magnify that love, events to magnify that love. It is the first M of the universe, and it is critical that you understand that this is something you cannot avoid. So I want you to understand. I want you to understand this. So I want you to take an analytical approach to reality creation. You need to have the ability to observe your reality like a science, because this is a spiritual science. I'm not giving it to you how them niggas that want to make you feel good and say grand rising beloved and love and light, all of this other shit. I need you to understand this stuff so you can practically implement it, because it is a spiritual science. And what we need to do is to reverse engineer. What do I mean by that? On my knees, no diddy. Whatever you feel like the world is trying to do, if the world is trying to trigger you, nigga, it's because you're triggered within. So the world is only magnifying that aspect of you that feels triggered by using people, conditions, circumstances, and events. If you feel like the world's taking the piss out of you, like it's mocking you, it's because you're mocking yourself within, but you're unaware of it. But you're unaware of it because you've been doing it for so long that it's just gone to the back of your mind. But subconscious mind, which is the womb of reality, which is continuously birthing these conditions into reality. So I need you to use your reality as a looking glass for what you need to alter within. I need you to use your reality as a looking glass to see what is it that you need to alter within. As I said, if you feel like the world is just out to get you, it's because you're out to get yourself within, but you're just unaware of it. The world can't do anything to you that you have not done to yourself. That's a bar, write that down. And you'll never be shown anything in the world that you have not given to yourself. That's a bar, also write that down. And if you feel like your world is disharmonious, like shit just keeps going left for you, it's because you're already feeling in that particular state of disharmony. So the world is just magnifying it. And the thing about the world, and when I say the world, you can extrapolate this to the universe, the third dimensional realm, reality. It will do its absolute best to intensify. It will turn it up and up and up and up and up. Why? Relax, you're gonna get some. Why would the universe do this to me? Why me? We've all been there, man. We've all been there. Should I still go there? One girl said Nero's my religion now. Guys, I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for this.
Someone said you wear them glasses because you're always high.
Somebody said I wear my glasses because I'm always high. High frequency. That's a bar, write that down. I want to say high frequency. I'm not talking about eating fucking fruits in the sun, nigga, and walking on grass barefoot. I'm talking about frequency for the true conceptualization of what it is, a particular energy signature, a vibration that's been continuously repeated, a lens through which we see reality. Frequency is a level of awareness that has little to do with this archetype of what people want it to be. Now, earlier, I was saying, you know, why would the universe do this to me? Why does it want to magnify and just keep me just... Ugh. You're gonna get some. It wants one thing. In fact, let me use a different pen. And here's the thing. You decided to come down to this physical plane. You want to be a boss? You gotta pay that price. Like, that's what it is. And it wants this one thing. It's just one thing that got me tripping. It's just one thing that got me tripping. If you did this one thing. And that's what it wants. Emotion. When it's turning it up, absolutely trying to get you to a breaking point, it just wants emotion. Why? Why does it want emotion? Well, one, emotion is the language of God. But most importantly, emotion is the most powerful energy source in the universe. And guess what? The universe is a system that likes to come collect. It wants to feed off your energy. Now, there's multiple conceptualizations of this across ancient civilizations. I mean, the Gnostics this is what the Gnostics referred to as the demiurge. This false god that supposedly feeds on our negative energy, so on and so forth. But I'm not going to go down that path because I'm only here to help you get into your DR, desired reality. Calm down, you horny niggas. I'm sure if you want to manifest the trip to DR, I will also help you do that. But it just wants to feed on your particular energy source for the mere fact that your emotion is the most powerful energy source in the universe. Quite literally. For the mere fact that your emotion is energy, that's emotion. Energy in motion builds up momentum. That momentum is like stacking. That's compound interest for the universe. And it wants to take all of that from you. Why would it want to do that? Why would it do this to me? Well, the first thing that you have to understand is that it doesn't hate you. It's just the system. So you need to detach all this emotion that you've been putting up to it. Because you're going to think to yourself, why would it want to do that to me? Like, why is it out to get me? Nah, it's nothing to do with emotions. It's nothing to do with right or wrong either. The universe doesn't adhere to morality. As much as these particular spiritual systems have taught you that, you know, it does, the reality is that it doesn't. And I could give you a multitude of examples, but just look at electricity. Electricity it's always been around. It's only recently been harnessed by humans within the last couple of centuries. And the thing about electricity is that it doesn't discriminate. You could be the nicest nigga in the world, but if you misuse it, it will zap you to death. You can be the meanest person in the world, it will zap you to death. It comes down to your use of this particular energy that determines and dictates the conditions of your reality. And you can extrapolate this to consciousness. This is why bad things happen to good people, because good people are unaware of how they work. And when I say they, I mean the inner dimension, how they work internally in reference to their relationship within this universe. That's all a bar, write that down. That is why the universe does what it does. That's why it magnifies it. It wants to keep turning it up and up and up and up to get it all. You ever had one of those days or like you just feel empty, like you just got nothing left to give? There's nothing left to give. When you've been absolutely, the universe has triggered you to the max. Things continuously seem to go wrong. That bad feeling, it just keeps getting turned up and turned up and turned up and turned up. It wants it all. It wants as much as possible, so it can use it for its system. It's no hate. That's just how it is. That's just literally how it is. Now the second M of the universe. Now you understand the first M. What's the first M? Good. Now we get to the second. AJ, what's the first M of the universe? Good stuff. They say you don't pay attention, bro.
How do you think you get this information, bro? Shout out the AJ Association.
And keep playing that piano, nigga. AJ is playing the piano for you guys tirelessly right now. He's always asking me to let him free out the sweatshop, but no. He'll keep playing that piano so long as you guys are around. Cool. So the first M of the universe, magnify. It's the idea that the universe simply magnifies however you feel for the mere fact that your emotion is the base majority of your frequency. Your frequency corresponds and resonates with a particular reality. If you want to enter a different reality, you need to alter your frequency. It is the product code for the product that you receive, that you call your reality. Understanding magnification, how you feel being the large part of your frequency, the way that you feel counts majority to the reality that you experience. And if you're feeling particularly stressed, the universe will use people, conditions, events, and circumstances to make you feel more stressed. If you feel peaceful, the universe will use people, conditions, events, and circumstances to make you feel more peaceful. If you feel irritated, it will make you feel more irritated. And it will use all these different aspects of reality, people, conditions, circumstances, and events that seem so random and so perfectly timed to make sure that it continues intensifying and magnifying that particular emotion so it can feed off your emotion. Not in a particularly negative sense, because really and truly, negativity is nothing more than our third dimensional realm illusion of duality. And as you transcend outside to the higher planes of existence, there is no separation. Everything is oneness. This is what in quantum mechanics they call quantum entanglement. The idea that when two particles are connected, no matter how far separated they become across the universe, they're always directly interconnected. And what you do to one is what you do to the other. This is what happens when you're thinking of somebody and then they call you. This is when you message somebody and they're like, I was just thinking about you. This is when you say the exact same thing as somebody. This on a quantum. And when we say quantum, we just mean outside or metaphysical. This is what's taking place. All of that was a bar. Write that down. Now, and make sure you leave them notes in the comments as usual. The second M of the universe. What do you think it is, AJ?
Do you really want the answer?
Mm-hmm.
Maintain.
AJ said maintain is the second M of the universe, and he is wrong. The second M of the universe maintain. Now, this is the second M of the universe indeed. Maintain. Now, here's the thing. After the universe has intensified your particular state, and it has corresponding that state with a frequency which then matches you with a reality, it's feeding off your energy. And because it's got you by the throat, pause, it wants to do its best to keep you there. Now, it wants to do its best to keep you there, so it keeps maintaining how you feel by using everybody and everything around you to perpetuate and keep making you feel that again and again. Now, why does it want to maintain? Relax, you're gonna get some. It wants to maintain for what I call energetic equilibrium. What's energetic equilibrium, Nero? This is my fancy way of saying balance. See, the universe is a system, and systems prefer convenience. It likes when things are easy, and balance ensures that everything is in alignment. So when you send out a new signal to the universe, and by the way, this can work for you and against you, remember. You know, what we conceptualize to be negative, positive, good or bad, the universe doesn't adhere to that. It sees it as all the same. So this can work for you or against you, right? Your mind is a double-edged sword in a sense. Now, when the universe picks up a new signal and that new signal has momentum behind it, as in it's continuously repeated or held, that momentum then leads to the first M of the universe, which is magnify. Then when it magnifies that, it wants to maintain that new signal. It wants to maintain that new signal because it's lazy. And of course, these characteristics that I'm giving you are nothing more than easy ways to conceptualize it from a humanistic perspective, but it wants to maintain it for its ease, for its convenience, for its energetic equilibrium. So when you're in a particular cycle and you feel like it's a cycle that you can't get out of, and you're just in the same loop again and again, it's because truthfully, you are. And that loop all began with one particular emotional state. That one emotional state compounded. The universe picked up a new signal. That new signal had momentum, compounded. The universe magnified it, and it used people to people, events, circumstances, conditions, something that completely is random. So I'll give you an example, a way that you can characterize this. So let's say you wake up, you're having a fairly normal day. Something goes wrong. I don't know, something goes wrong. Let's say you're ironing your top and you burn your top, or something goes wrong, or you drop a glass and it cuts your feet and you're in pain and you're angry for whatever reason. Now you've entered that state and now you need to go about your life. You're going through the day. Let's say you're going through the day and things just start to seem to trigger you. Let's say you're driving, somebody pulls out in front of you, the light's stopping red. You're just like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, what's going on? And that just builds and builds and builds. You get to a particular location, whether that's work or you're visiting friends or family or meeting up with somebody, and they just trigger you. Something about them, they just piss you off. They make you feel even more annoyed, or they're just onto your ass, pause. And it just builds and builds and builds and builds. And then at the end of the day, you get home drained, emotionally drained. Why? Because the universe has drained you and fed off your particular emotion. And then the cycle just repeats and repeats and it repeats and repeats and repeats. Why? Because the universe wants to maintain. And this is what happens. And this is why so many of us stay in loops. We stay in loops because from a level of unawareness, and it happens so often, you know, you've reached a certain level of awareness, so you wouldn't be watching this video if I wasn't on your frequency. And what I mean by that, I don't mean that, like, you see them YouTube niggas I will put like on a title, you will see this video when it's on your frequency. Like, yeah, that's how algorithms work, you know. But like, I'm saying this quite literally from a point of, you wouldn't be at this point of this video if our frequencies didn't particularly resonate, which means you've reached a new level of awareness, which means you're at the new signal point. But how long are you going to allow momentum to build up? How are you going to maintain that? Because the moment that you enter that, and bear in mind, this is in reference of your desired reality. So let's say you've entered the state of your desired reality and you have, and I've spoke about this on a multitude of videos, but I'm going to do it again because I care about you guys. When you've altered your identity, your emotionally charged thoughts, your beliefs, your conviction, and your attention, all in alignment to be with your desired reality. And if you want to find out how to do that, go watch the video 8 years of manifestation knowledge in like 51 minutes or some shit like that. Or watch any of my videos, to be fair, because I go through that. When you alter that in reference to what it is that you want your desired reality, then the universe will magnify that. And then eventually it will get to a point of maintaining that. And then what was once your desired reality will be your normal. Which ironically, you need to normalize your desired reality now and de-pedestalize it in order to bring it down to you now. And the way that you can think about this is like, when something's normal to you, it doesn't really bother you, right? Those new pair of shoes, like I'm wearing my UGG sliders right now. I've had these for like a couple months. They're kind of old to me now. And because they're kind of old to me, I'm used to them. My perspective towards them, it's not that deep. And because it's not that deep, that kind of gap, that energetic space, which we call importance in the universe, is collapsed. And until you can see your desired reality as normal, like the old pair of shoes, as opposed to seeing them in the shop window. Something's in the shop window, you can't grab it through the window unless you're one of them young niggas, like just break through windows and take shit. I don't know. You see, the Americans have been doing smart whip lately. You lot call it galaxy gas. They've been doing smart whips, no balloons.
What the?
As in, they're just doing smart whips straight from the canister. What?
Brain cells ain't ready.
Insane. But anyways, yes, that is the process. And here's the thing. Now I've given you the 2 M's of the universe. It's important that I actually help you break the cycle. And we are going to go into some slight subconscious reprogramming, but I guess everything that I've ever told you guys is a form of subconscious reprogramming. But it's not until I say that you're like, yeah, you know what it is. But I'm going to give you some information on how to actually break the cycle. But first we need to see the chain of events that actually lead place to you ending up in that cycle in the first place. Whew, I'm getting hot, man. It's getting hot in here, so hot. So take off all your clothes. I wanna take my... Nelly had a run, bro. Here I am. He had Just a Dream. He had Too Hot. He had No Matter What I Do. No, but that's basically Kelly Rowland, if we're being fair. That's her song.
I hear it.
What do,
But don't underplay the verse.
do Nelly's verse right now.
I can't do any of Nelly's verses. I don't
There
know
you
what
go.
that nigga's
So,
saying.
but sing the main part of the song of Dilemma.
Okay, we ain't gonna do
It's
that.
Kelly Rowland's, bro. It's Kelly Rowland's, bro.
It's the same way I can't spit Lil Baby's bars because half the time I don't know what that nigga's saying.
Living like we in the race, I've been coming first and second, but I will never be last lately. I've been in my
bag.
bag.
Speaking English until you start saying last, bro. You see what I'm saying?
That's actually quite funny. So, identifying how this particular cycle actually begins. Let's see it like this. So, what is the thing that the universe magnifies, AJ?
Your feelings.
Perfect. We can conceptualize this as one's emotional state. That emotional state then goes through a process of being magnified. Bear in mind, this is when it's been particularly repeated. That magnification then eventually is maintained. And that what people feel as being maintained is what we'd conceptualize as being stuck in the same loop over and over again. This word looks like it's spelled wrong, but it's actually spelled right. Yeah. But anyways, if you ever feel like you're in a loop, then we need to kind of reverse engineer this process by looking at the chain of events and making sure that we alter the vibrations of these particular circumstances right at the beginning. So what's the first thing that would need to be changed in order for the cycle to be broken, AJ? This nigga's on his phone. Don't even respond. I don't even want to hear it. Don't even respond.
Your emotional states.
Your emotional state. It all begins with an alteration of your emotional state. Because let's say that this is the current emotional state. If we create a new emotional state, so long as that emotional state has momentum, it will then go through a process of magnification, and then itself will be maintained, and then you will be in a loop of your desired reality. So, how do we change the emotional state, Nero? It was a pleasure talking to you guys. I'll see you guys on the next video. No, jokes aside. You actually change the emotional state by doing a couple of things, but I'm going to simplify it because, in my opinion, I like what Leonardo da Vinci said. He said, simplicity is the ultimate form of sophistication. And I completely agree. Bear in mind, because I've been studying this stuff for 8 years and read hundreds of books, I can probably give it to you, in a very, very complicated way, as all these other authors do. But I want to break it down so it's simple enough for you to kind of take it for granted. But don't take it for granted, because where else are you getting this type of information, nigga? Especially from a nigga like me. Now, how do we change our emotional state? That's the $1 million question. If you can change your emotional state, you can change what the universe will magnify. Once you change what the universe will magnify, you will change what the universe will maintain. And then you can have your desired reality maintained. You change your emotional state. Well, what you should really be seeking to change is your subconscious mind. How's the subconscious mind programmed? Repetition. Shut up. No, it's not. Now, popularized in the manifestation space, they say repetition, repetition, repetition. Of course, you can do it like that, but that's in computer science what we'd call almost like a brute force algorithm. It's like a really long-winded way of exhausting every particular possible combination, so on and so forth, which is, I don't like all of that. I like efficiency. So the only language of the subconscious mind I ever want you to conceptualize again in your life is emotion. That is the only language of the subconscious mind. How do I know? Look at anybody. Somebody only needs to be traumatized once for their entire paradigm to be changed. And of course, that trauma is an extreme form of negativity. But that negativity and positivity are dualities. You can feel the intensity of positive emotions to have the same effect on your subconscious mind as trauma would. Now, here's the thing. If what we're seeking right here is a deep level or an intense level of emotional charge. Jesus, what happened there? What we're seeking to generate, what the? Nah, the board is too wet, man. It's too wet. Pause. Let me try a different color. Let me use green. Ah, perfect. Essentially, what we're seeking to generate here is an emotional charge. A powerful emotional charge. That, if you can generate an extreme powerful emotional charge in reference to your desired reality, that will alter your emotional state, which will then be magnified, which will then be maintained, and you will be in your desired reality. How do I generate emotional charge, Nero? Here's what you came for.
Someone said, I really like your channel, but I'd like for you to consider saying the N-word less, please.
Anyway, guys. I thought by now people would be done. I'm gonna assume that they're new. I thought people would be done trying to spiritualize me into this nigga that they want me to be, who talks a certain way and acts a certain way. But I thought you'd be able to tell that that's not what the case is gonna be here. It's not gonna happen. People will make demands of me. Listen, I keep telling you niggas, stop trying to make me an influencer, because you're going to be in for a route. You're going to disappoint yourself. Like, if you're trying to say, don't say this, start saying this, do this, you're going to be disappointed, because I'm going to be however the fuck I want to be. Because really and truly, if you don't like it, feel free, please. It's no issue at all. Please feel free to go get the information elsewhere, probably from somebody who represents nothing more, which is an archetype or an identity, which really and truly is a persona, which is a mask of what it means to you to be spiritual. Because the truth of the matter is nobody is independently spiritual as an entirety in their life. We're all different people to different people in all aspects of our lives. We're all, in a sense, complete contradictions of ourselves. For example, I'm not just a spiritual guy. I also have a computer science degree. I'm also an entrepreneur. I was also raised in the ghetto, so I'm a ghetto nigga too. I'm also black. For example, all of these things equal in totality to equate to see what you're seeing right now. So if you don't like that, trust me, I apologize. Please go watch a nigga that starts a video by saying love and light, beloved, and you can listen to what they have to say. You can listen to what they have to say, man. Now, $1 million question. How do I generate emotional charge? Because so long as you can generate a powerful enough emotional charge, then essentially what you will lead to is an alteration in your emotional state. That emotional state will then end up being magnified and maintained by the universe. Now, here's a couple of ways that you can go about generating emotional charge. And this actually taps into the true definition of manifestation. Now, emotional charge. The way that you go about experiencing an emotional charge is generating it within. What do I mean by that? Now, I've stated this a multitude of times. The particular vehicle, which is what techniques are, they're nothing more than vehicles. No technique works. No technique works without your emotional conviction being poured into it. That's what makes it work. No technique works. It is your belief in it, which is the activation to make it right. Which, bear in mind, I want something you guys to understand is, more importantly than what you do is the belief that what you're doing is right and it's going to work. That is more effective than anything you will ever imagine. And I always think about this. When I got a flu when I was younger, my mom used to tell me to put lemonade in the microwave and drink that and it will make me better. That makes no absolute sense at all. Fizzy lemonade to heal a flu, but it worked. Because at that particular moment in time, that idea was accepted by my subconscious mind. My subconscious mind then done that. You know how many crazy like remedies niggas have that actually make no sense, but it works for people. And it's nothing more than your subconscious mind accepting it as truth. And there's no truth in reality other than what the subconscious mind says as truth. And I mean that from a point of manifestation in terms of your reality being generated from your mind. Now, you have to generate that emotional charge within. Now, whether you, and what I mean by that is a fancy way of saying you need to experience it within so intensely you feel nothing for it anymore. easy way to conceptualize this, let's say you have a particular desired reality and you're visualizing for it. You need to be not visualizing, because it's not about seeing, it's about experiencing it by understanding that when you're experiencing this third dimensional realm, this physical plane, you have 5 physical senses. To the degree that you can trigger those senses in your imagination or in your consciousness or in your mind while you're visualizing or whatever it is that you want to do, will allow for you to trick your mind, because you have to understand the mind can't distinguish between truth and reality. I'll prove it to you right now. Think about, in fact, no, that's quite morbid. I might get cancelled for that. In fact, just forget I even said that.
What was you gonna say?
Forget I even said that. But you have to understand, you need to be able to experience your desired reality within so intensely that you no longer desire it without. So whether that's you visualizing it, and here's quick way that I go about visualizing, and I teach this to my clients. This is literally what I tell them. So you have a particular desired reality. Instead of thinking of something extravagant, think of something KISS. Keep it super simple. Keep it super simple. Visualize a scene as it's been said multitude of times, something that implies that your desired reality has taken place in the past, that it's a past tense. So for me, it's literally being congratulated by those that I love. Nothing more, nothing less. When those people are congratulating me on attaining my desired reality, I'm hugging them and I'm feeling their hug, I'm feeling their love, I'm seeing them happy for me and I'm feeling their happiness on me so intensely that in my visualizations, I have literally cried tears of joy. And I don't cry, like that's the craziest thing. Not like sadly anyways, but that was such a real experience to me that my mind literally generated tears. And you can think about this a multitude of ways and you can extrapolate this to a multitude of different particular goals. You need to see what it is that you want, but not see it, experience it so intensely that you feel those emotions that you would feel in that desired reality right now, because they are the prerequisite to generating the same emotional charge that would imply that you are in that particular state of reality. And that's what you do. You generate it. This is how you build up emotional charge. And this is something that you do. You build it, you train it, right? The more emotional charge that you feel, it gets to a certain point. And what really and truly is about displacement. People talk about programming the subconscious mind. This is a bar, write that down, I'm about to say. It's not about reprogramming the subconscious mind. It's about displacing the emotional charge that you have attached to the negative beliefs that you're trying to get away from. That's the game. The more that you can displace those negative thoughts by generating an equal or more powerful emotional charge, the more you are going to displace the attachment that you have to these particular beliefs, and those old emotionally charged thoughts are going to drop. And when they drop, space is created for the new thing of what you want, which is exactly what you're experiencing up here. It's not about reprogramming the subconscious mind. It's about displacing the emotional charge that has you programmed. Because remember, here's what the thing is. If you want something, before the world can give you anything, ask yourself, have you given it to yourself? And what does that look like? That looks like you no longer needing the world to give it to you because you've given it to yourself. If I was to come put you in your desire, I'd like to ask you a very honest question. You're going to be honest with me, right? Perfect. If I was to come and give you your desired reality right now, would you feel absolutely amazing and great? If you said yes, that's exactly why you're never going to get it. Because that's the universe's indication that you have not given it to yourself. And you haven't given it. If you still want your desired reality, if you still need to see it, if not seeing or experiencing your desired reality bothers you, then you haven't experienced it within so intensely that you feel nothing anymore. Because remember my definition of manifestation. Manifestation is internally shifting to a degree to which you are no longer emotionally dependent upon seeing reality change. And that emotional dependence drops because you've already experienced it so intensely that your mind says, we've already got that. And you can only have what you already have. And because you've got that, the universe is like, shit, they've got that. Let me double check that. Let me double check that. And it gives it to you. And this is what it's all about. Now, like I said, whatever technique you want to do, you just need to make sure that you are experiencing your desired reality as a current reality so intensely within that you feel those emotions so deeply of what you'd feel then, because what you think is a destination is the starting location. It's actually the prerequisite. Because here's the thing. When you generate it within and you feel all those emotions that you would feel, those emotions of how you would feel really and truly are a frequency. And that's the same frequency that's going to be necessary to attach you to your desired reality to make that a current reality.